As the Celestia journeyed homeward, a sense of unease settled over Captain Elena Voss and her crew. Despite their victory against the overwhelming enemy armada, the warning of the Nexus still weighed heavily on their minds. They knew that the true battle lay ahead, and the fate of the galaxy hung in the balance. As they approached their home base, a distress call suddenly crackled over the communications array. It was from one of the outer colonies, a desperate plea for help against an unknown assailant. "We can't ignore this," Elena declared, her voice firm with resolve. "Plot a course to the colony. Maximum warp." The Celestia hurtled through space, racing against time to reach the besieged colony. But as they arrived, they were met with a scene of devastation. The colony lay in ruins, its buildings smoldering and its people scattered in fear. Scans indicate multiple energy signatures, Lieutenant Daniels reported grimly. "It looks like they were attacked by an advanced alien force." Elena clenched her fists, her heart heavy with grief and anger. "Find any survivors. We need to know what happened here." As the crew searched the wreckage, they found a group of survivors huddled in the ruins of a once grand plaza. Among them was a young woman, her face streaked with tears. "We were taken by surprise," she whispered, her voice trembling with fear. "They came out of nowhere, their ships descending upon us like vengeful spirits. We never stood a chance." Elena's jaw tightened with determination. "We won't let their sacrifice be in vain. We'll find those responsible and make them pay for what they've done." With the survivors safely aboard the Celestia, the crew set out to track down the elusive enemy. But their search led them to the edge of known space, to a region shrouded in darkness and mystery. "We're entering uncharted territory," Lieutenant Daniels warned. "We have no idea what awaits us out here." Elena nodded grimly. "We can't turn back now. Not when so much is at stake." As they ventured deeper into the unknown, the tension aboard the Celestia reached a fever pitch. Every shadow seemed to conceal a potential threat, and every anomaly could be a harbinger of danger. And then, just as they were beginning to lose hope, they stumbled upon a hidden base nestled among the asteroids of a desolate asteroid belt. "It's them," Elena breathed, her eyes narrowed with determination. "The ones responsible for the attack on the colony." With their target in sight, the crew of the Celestia prepared for battle. They knew that victory would not come easily, but they were determined to see justice served for those who had fallen. As they launched their assault on the enemy base, a fierce firefight erupted, the sound of weapons fire echoing through the void. The enemy fought with a ferocity that matched their own, but the crew of the Celestia refused to back down. With each passing moment, the tide of battle turned in their favor. The enemy's defenses crumbled beneath the relentless assault of the Celestia, until at last, victory was within their grasp. As the dust settled and the smoke cleared, Elena surveyed the wreckage of the enemy base, a sense of satisfaction coursing through her veins. They had avenged the lives lost at the colony, and justice had been served. But even as they celebrated their hard-won victory, Elena knew that their journey was far from over. The warning of the Nexus still echoed in her mind, a reminder of the great cosmic threat that lurked on the horizon. And as they set course for home once more, Elena vowed to do whatever it took to protect the galaxy from the impending darkness that awaited. For they were the guardians of the stars, and their duty was clear, to stand firm in the face of adversity and to never falter in their quest for peace and justice among the stars. As the Celestia journeyed back towards home, the crew basked in the glow of their hard-won victory against the enemy base. But amidst the celebration, a shadow lurked, unnoticed by all but one. Lieutenant Daniels, trusted science officer and confidant of Captain Elena Voss, paced the corridors of the ship with a troubled expression. His mind churned with conflicted thoughts, torn between loyalty to his captain and the dark secret he harbored. As the ship neared their home base, Lieutenant Daniels found himself confronted by a figure cloaked in shadow, a sinister smile playing on their lips. "You've done well, Lieutenant," the figure hissed, their voice dripping with malice. "Your betrayal has served us well." Daniels recoiled in shock, his heart pounding in his chest. "Who are you? What do you want from me?" The figure stepped forward, revealing themselves to be none other than Commander Griggs, a high-ranking officer within their own organization. "I want what you want, Lieutenant," Griggs replied, his eyes gleaming with a fanatical zeal. "To rid the galaxy of those who would stand in our way. The Nexus is the key to our salvation, and with its power, we shall reign supreme." Danielle's mind reeled with disbelief. How could someone he trusted, someone he had served alongside for years, be capable of such treachery? But as Griggs revealed his true intentions, Daniels knew that he had no choice but to act. With a sense of determination burning in his heart, he resolved to stop Griggs and his allies at any cost. As the Celestia docked at their home base, Daniels sought out Captain Elena Voss, his mind awash with conflicting emotions. He knew that he had to warn her of the threat within their midst, but he also feared the consequences of his betrayal. "Elena," he began, his voice trembling with uncertainty. "There's something you need to know." But before he could utter another word, Griggs and his loyalists sprang into action, launching a daring attack on the unsuspecting crew of the Celestia. Chaos erupted aboard the ship as loyalists clashed with traitors, their weapons tearing through the corridors with deadly precision. In the midst of the fray, Daniels found himself face to face with Griggs, their eyes locked in a battle of wills. "You can't stop us, Daniels," Griggs sneered, his voice laced with contempt. "The Nexus belongs to us now, and there's nothing you can do to change that." But Daniels refused to back down. With a fierce determination burning in his heart, he fought tooth and nail against Griggs and his followers, rallying his fellow crewmates to stand against the traitors. As the battle raged on, the fate of the galaxy hung in the balance. Would Daniels and his allies emerge victorious, or would Griggs succeed in his quest for power and domination? Only time would tell as the Celestia's crew fought bravely against the forces of darkness, their resolve unyielding in the face of overwhelming odds. As the battle aboard the Celestia reached its climax, the ship's corridors ran red with blood as loyal crew members fell one by one, overwhelmed by the relentless assault of Griggs and his followers. Despite their valiant efforts, it became clear that victory was slipping through their fingers. In the midst of the chaos, Captain Elena Voss fought with all her might, her determination unyielding even as her comrades fell around her. With each passing moment, her resolve hardened, fueled by the loss of her crew and the betrayal of those she had once trusted. As the last loyal crew member fell, Elena found herself face to face with Griggs, the architect of their downfall. His eyes gleamed with triumph as he raised his weapon, ready to strike the final blow. But Elena refused to cower in the face of adversity. With a steely gaze, she stared down her would-be executioner, her voice ringing out with defiance. "You may have won this battle, Griggs, but you will never defeat us. We are the guardians of the stars, and our legacy will live on long after you and your ilk have faded into obscurity." With a swift motion, Elena lunged forward, disarming Griggs and turning the tables on him in a heartbeat. The two adversaries clashed in a desperate struggle, their movements a blur of steel and fury. In the end, it was Elena who emerged victorious, her blade piercing Griggs's heart with a final, decisive blow. As he crumpled to the ground, lifeless and defeated, Elena stood over his fallen form, her chest heaving with exertion. But even as she savored her hard-won victory, Elena knew that her journey was far from over. With her crew gone and her ship in ruins, she had nothing left to lose but her thirst for vengeance. With a grim determination, Elena set her sights on those responsible for the betrayal and the devastation they had wrought. She would hunt them down, one by one, until justice was served and the galaxy was safe once more. And as she stood alone amidst the wreckage of her ship, Captain Elena Voss vowed to honor the memory of her fallen comrades and to carry on their legacy, no matter the cost. For she was the last of the Celestia's crew, and her quest for revenge would shake the very foundations of the cosmos. As Captain Elena Voss stood amidst the wreckage of her ship, her heart heavy with grief and determination, she knew that the time for vengeance had come. With the memory of her fallen comrades burning bright in her mind, she vowed to hunt down those responsible for the betrayal and ensure that justice was served. Gathering whatever resources she could salvage from the wreckage of the Celestia, Elena embarked on a relentless pursuit of the traitors who had torn her crew apart. With each passing day, her resolve grew stronger, fueled by a burning desire to avenge the lives that had been lost. After weeks of tireless pursuit, Elena finally caught wind of the traitors' whereabouts, a remote outpost hidden deep within the far reaches of space. With a grim determination, she set course for the outpost, her heart set on confronting her enemies and putting an end to their reign of terror once and for all. As the Celestia approached the outpost, Elena's senses were on high alert, her every instinct honed for the battle that lay ahead. With a steely gaze, she surveyed the enemy's stronghold, knowing that victory would not come easily. With a thunderous roar, the Celestia unleashed its full firepower upon the outpost, catching the traitors off guard and sending them scrambling for cover. But they were not alone. Elena had rallied allies from across the galaxy to aid her in her quest for vengeance, and together, they fought with a fury that could not be matched. In the heart of the battle, Elena faced off against the traitor who had orchestrated the betrayal, the one known only as Griggs. With blades clashing and sparks flying, the two adversaries engaged in a fierce duel, each determined to emerge victorious. But in the end, it was Elena who triumphed, her skill and determination proving to be more than a match for her treacherous foe. With a final, decisive blow, she brought Griggs to his knees, his reign of terror brought to an end at last. As the dust settled and the echoes of battle faded into the void, Elena stood triumphant, her enemies vanquished and justice served. With a heavy heart, she honored the memory of her fallen comrades, knowing that their sacrifice had not been in vain. With the traitors defeated and the galaxy safe once more, Captain Elena Voss and her loyal allies set course for home, their spirits lifted by the knowledge that they had emerged victorious against all odds. And as they journeyed through the stars, they knew that their legacy would live on, a testament to the indomitable spirit of those who dared to stand against the darkness and fight for what was right.